Growing up in school, I never really had a problem talking with other people. I was a relatively friendly kid that loved to talk about pretty much anything. But other people apparently had a really rough time figuring out what I was trying to say. Sometimes I'd end up talking too fast for basic minds to comprehend. Or maybe I'd just stumble on my words so people could just barely hear what I'm saying. But by far the biggest problem I had talking to people while growing up was a speech impediment I had as a kid ever since I was able to talk. Every time I tried to pronounce a K or C, it would always end up sounding like a T instead. And saying that my name clearly starts with a K, that led to some awkward introductions. Hello, what's your name? I'm Tail. Tail? No, I said I'm Tail. You just keep saying Tail. You'd think I'd realize after a bunch of people pointing it out, but I didn't find out that I had a speech impediment until someone specifically told me in 3rd grade. In my child brain, I guess I simply never noticed that something was wrong. Every time I said anything remotely close to my name, it sounded completely normal to me. So I don't know why it took me so long to realize, oh wait, I can't talk. And after that riveting revelation, I was put in a small class with a bunch of other people who couldn't say basic words out of their non-existent mouths. Despite how much I seem to be complaining about all this, I actually did really like the class. Compared to my other classes, it was just such a breath of fresh air. In different classes like math or social studies, I just had boring old busy work while barely learning anything at all. But in my speech class, not only did I get to learn new ways to improve my speech, I got to learn entirely new things in a fun and engaging way. And then they just kicked me out as soon as I got good at pronouncing things. So now I was back to my usual old English class. Also, can I just say how stupid the English language is? I feel sorry for any foreigner coming to the US for the first time. There are even 3 whole ways to spell the word there, and they all sound exactly the same. Thankfully, we're taught all of this English stuff relatively early on in our elementary English classes. And I understand that completely. We all have to learn these overly complicated rules somehow. But why do we have to take English classes past elementary school? In my school, we had the choice between a normal and honors English class. I personally chose to be in the honors class all the way through middle and high school. And if I'm being honest here, the classes weren't any different from each other. It was really just a formality more than anything. But we're not here to talk about my arbitrary achievements. I want to talk about why these classes sucked. Instead of learning new English phrases that could actually be useful later in life, most of the class was spent reading, which would have been manageable if I didn't also have an entirely separate class specifically made for reading. I was just in 6th grade at the time. How was I supposed to handle that much reading on top of everything else I needed to work on? And I know it sounds like I'm complaining a lot, but I was actually surprisingly good at English. I did my work, and much to my surprise, got A's on almost everything. And I did enjoy the few class discussions we did actually have. So if anyone watching this video is still in school, just use Spark Notes. It makes everything so much easier. Unless you do like reading, which, more power to you. But I'd personally much rather spend my time drawing. So, moral of the story? The English language is just the worst language in the whole world.